podcast excellence since 2005. This is the King of Podcasts radio network, kingofpodcasts.com.
Can you smell which storyline The Rock is cooking?
Woo! Hey, this is the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and believe it or not, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it, because you have to listen to Wrestling is Real. It is the best thing going today. Woo!
The worldwide leader of podcasting excellence, the King of Podcasts Radio Network proudly presents The Wrestling is Real podcast, because wrestling needs us.
And welcome to the Wrestling is Real podcast. Appreciate all of you joining me here on the program. This is episode 910 of the program. Thanks for listening in. This is the final episode of February. And then we got February, we have Elimination Chamber coming up this weekend on Saturday. Next week, we got AEW Revolution. We'll go ahead and get into what the cards look like right now as we're setting things up. Not much to say about the TV except for one segment. And one segment did pop a rating for SmackDown Friday night. 1.739 million viewers. And as for online, what I can see, 1.6 million viewers so far on the YouTube channel for WWE. And then on the USA channel, 792,000 viewers. So there's a lot of views, millions of views right now for The Rock with Cody Rhodes. We are all trying to decode. Seriously, it's like a Christmas story. Where is my Ovaltine decoder ring? So I can figure out what was Cody Rhodes being fed by the final boss. Now, I'm going to put it like this. So, The Rock, ever since he came back for the Netflix debut, which, by the way, he kind of almost forgot he was in Los Angeles for that. He had to kind of recall where he was. He went out there unscripted and not many talking points to go off of. So The Rock said, well, I'm going to go and do this. The WrestleMania New Orleans announcement was great. Fine. But then after that, the start of the storyline right here, a start of an angle, a big angle with Cody Rhodes. Now, we already know that Cody has already kind of finished off things when it comes to the new bloodline with Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. There's still going to be some ramblings about that. And of course, whoever wins the Elimination Chamber, that will go and take on Cody Rhodes after that match is said and done. And then what The Rock is doing here. And The Rock has turned face as of the Netflix debut when he confronted Cody, which I never understood that. But where where The Rock was going with this was a little all over the place. This is not his best promo. As I said, last year at this time, Final Boss Rock was giving the best promos I thought The Rock ever did. When you give him something to sink his teeth into, that bloodline storyline right there, and him going after Cody, that was gold. That was magic. It was so good. And when The Rock is just shitting on the crowd so well, he missed the edge right here. And so the final boss, I wanted him to stick into that. I wanted him to still be bitter old Rock. I wanted that. He didn't do that. Instead, he comes off with this different chum kind of mystique with himself. And I don't know if I felt good about this, if it really came off well. We know this took too long. So I'm only going to get to the part where we're going to go, 7 minutes into the segment, roughly, or maybe a little bit more, because Rock was out there doing the New Orleans announcement. And then when Cody gets in, and of course the house show loop, it takes forever for this to go, which is the other problem I don't like. The way it's being not done for TV. Is it so it's done for TV? We could have got this done in 15 minutes? But no. This took too long, and it was meandering. It wasn't a good straight direction. Fine. So Rock comes out and does this. Let's go and get into what he actually said. And I'm going to play it. We're just going to go break it down and go through and just figure out what was going on here. So I'm going to go and play it back. Let's get to it.
And you know what's crazy is, I got to tell you, and this is something that a lot of you guys don't know, probably all of you don't know, is that ever since last year, WrestleMania, we've actually become good friends. That's true, we have. So the last time we were in a ring, or last time we were on a show together, was was Raw, Netflix. Exactly, was the debut. I laid flowers down by your feet. As a matter of fact, I told everybody that you carried this company like an incredible champion that you are. Thank you very much, Cody Rhodes.
We're going to skip a little bit forward because then we move along here, and the whole thing about the family and all this stuff, fine. Now, then he moves on and he gets into this shtick right here where he starts turning into Al Pacino and the Devil's Advocate. Let's get to that.
I need you to understand something. Is that, yes, The Rock, the final boss, is on the board of TKO, and TKO owns WWE. The Rock is a director of the board of TKO. As a matter of fact, don't boo that. The Rock's good friend and consigliere, who you know, Ari Emanuel, who owns everything. As a matter of fact, I joked with him. I said, Ari, can you believe that you own the WWE? He was like, listen, I don't own WWE. Rock, you own WWE. I was like, listen, I don't know if I own WWE, but I do know that I am the most powerful.
Okay. So one of the things we got a lot of criticism about is the fact he's really going out and speaking to marks. When he started to name drop people behind the scenes of the company that are not regularly on TV. Now, you know, if you listen to my program or any of the other wrestling podcasters out there, I'm sure they've made familiar some of the names they've mentioned here, where it's Ari Emanuel or Nick Khan or whoever else. And he makes the point, okay, so he is in a powerful position above what WWE is. But the thing is, The Rock hasn't been given like a title. It's not like he's a Vince McMahon type authority figure. And I think if we could have established that a little bit better, I mean, not necessarily where, I mean, really, if he was an authority figure and we saw him coming out making decisions, and there were just certain things that he did that showed he was kind of wavering his authority, swinging his dick around, then I would actually buy this more. But we didn't get that part. And I think if he was giving us more of that kind of role of like, okay, I'm the authority figure here. I'm above Nick Aldis. I'm above Adam Pearce. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And the thing is that by the announcement of him, all of a sudden, I'm going to come on to SmackDown. I'm going to make an announcement, and they're cutting matches out. I want that promoted on the show. Okay, so if we have a 6-woman tag match or whatever else they had planned that got scrapped because of what happened, I want that in a storyline. I want it where Rock is now jumping in, cutting stuff off, and things are going on. Say, hey, you know, the rundown's here. This match has been scrapped. What is going on? Because The Rock's here. And then you make it a big deal like, oh my goodness, everybody needs to go ahead and be on their P's and Q's. You know, everybody needs to be on their best behavior because The Rock's here. And honestly, I would have liked The Rock to do something where if there's some points in the storyline where somebody gets fired because some kind of insubordination, somebody's slacking off backstage, and you take somebody back there and you make it where, oh, wait a minute. And then somebody's like, hey, you know, The Rock is doing some nefarious shit and he's being sketchy and he's being shady. That part would have helped me get better off on this character. And I would have taken it, because also it would be where if you want to make him like acting like a face and being all chummy with Cody, I want to feel the shadiness about this character. We didn't get that part. And so all this right here he just said fell flat. But let's move along. Now he made his point. He has positioned himself as powerful. Next.
Cody, you are a great champion. But my friend, I want you to be something that is more than a great champion. I want you to be something that's more than our champion.
All right. So he's saying this, and this is the part where if we need to do something here, I would want Rock to start promoting himself. I was like, I want you to be like The Rock. Okay? And I wanted to say it where it says like, okay, I want you to do what I did. Listen, I left the WWE. I was the Hollywood Rock, and then I got into Scorpion King, and I moved along. I started doing all these movies, and I got this great career. Cody, you have bigger things than what's going on in WWE, and I'm a person in Hollywood, and I have connections, and I have all these people I can get you connected to. I can make you a bigger star than you've ever been in your life. So you're not just WWE champion, but now you're bigger than that. And there's no one else that could fill those shoes. They could fill the Rock shoes like Cody Rhodes. But you need to do something for me. And this, I would have preferred that. And that would have made this better. Then the Rock would have been taking his ego, healthy ego, start putting it out there. Anyway, move along.
Or the moms to become friends, or the Terramana. I certainly didn't have that on my bingo card, but your champion. I think you above all people know I'm their champion.
I don't understand how Cody projected here. Like, I want him to be the regular Cody. Why is he talking so sentimental here? I wasn't feeling this either. But the crowd's going to eat it up because they're just, it's the lapdog mentality, the house show crowd. This is the juvenile delusional fan base we got. You're willing to go that route.
Yes, you are their champion. Proudly their champion. Of course you are. The Rock is the people's champion. And I love that about you. And this is our universe. WWE is us. We were born into this business. It's in our DNA. But Cody, I'm talking about something much more, much bigger than just this. I know for a fact that your number one goal is to bring as much joy and love and happiness to everybody around the world, as many people around the world as possible. Isn't that right? Yes. Because you are that guy. You're that dude, and I know it, and they know it. You communicate through social media, Instagram. How many Instagram followers do you have?
Now, by the way, this too. We don't need this part where he's going through social media. This doesn't make any sense. If you want to start, no, we don't need a proposal yet. Okay, we don't need a PowerPoint presentation, anything like that. What I want from The Rock here is to start throwing out ideas at Cody to start making him have delusions of grandeur. That's what we should have had here. But we didn't get that either. I don't know where he was going with that. So he's talking about his social media following and all this kind of stuff. And we don't care about this. And he goes on and talks about Instagram followers. And then he goes on and says this.
Followed American man in the world, and I want that for you. And that's a fact. Rock is here. I want you to be here. That's what I mean by being my champion. Cody Rhodes, if you become my champion, I can open up doors and possibilities for you that you never knew existed. If you become my champion, every dream you've ever had, I can make come true. Every dream of your wife, every dream of your little baby, who I know. I invited you to the premiere of Moana 2 in Hawaii. Thank you, by the way, for making that cross $1 billion. I love you. Thank you very much. Thank you. You came to that out of support. I met your family. They were amazing. Your baby's dreams. When you and I are no longer here, we're in the clouds walking. I can make all that come true for you. I just need you to be my champion.
Okay, so Cody's getting sentimental. And I don't see what, just I guess the mention of the family is going to make Cody get a little bit teary-eyed. Fine. But what Rock's saying here is nothing. It's a blanket of like, all right, he brings up Moana 2. Okay, one thing. Oh, I get you involved. I kind of have you kind of tagging along because we're friends. All right, but I want something more out of this. Like, we need to get back to the fact of, all right, Rock, start throwing your accolades out there, okay? Swing your dick. Start talking about what you can do. Look, I did this. I had this foundation. I did this thing here. I did this show. I did this right here. There's all these things I could bring to you. We don't need to start making guarantees or promises he can't keep. We don't give a shit. Just start saying the stuff that it is. If he wants to do like charity work, okay, I can open the foundation for you. I can do this and that. I got my production company. I got the UFL. I got whatever, all these connections, all these things that I'm doing. I'm nearly a billionaire myself, The Rock. And start going that route. Let's get a healthy ego in here and start boasting. And, you know, if you want to go ahead and make it where Cody feels like small because he's like, well, I've just been this lowly champion and this is what my story was. Like, how about Cody? You finished your story. You have nothing else to tell. You're holding on right now to the finish of your story. But I have another chapter for you, a major chapter. Actually, the book is closed on your history in wrestling. Now, I have a new book for you to write, a new story to tell. And we need to start writing that story and making another legacy for you. Something that your dad can be proud of, that your dad could never dream of doing. Like, this is the kind of stuff like we could have gone there. But this is meandering. We haven't gone anywhere. This is vague. Completely vague. It's devoid of any real substance. Anything that is like, all right, you want Cody to be the champion. Give me reasons. Give me a laundry list, huh? Start putting some bullet points down. Bam, 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 bam. But we're not. But that's the part I don't have. And then he keeps saying, I want you to be my champion. I want you to be my champion. And then he gets into the whole thing about your soul. This is the part that everybody got confused by because all this rambling, and then he gets to this part, which obviously was like the one thing he wanted to make sure he said before he went out the door. This is like Hogan when he did the first promo for NWO. He remembered to say this is the New World Order of Wrestling, and he pretty much screwed up the rest of the promo, right? But this is the part. Big angle here. What are we chopping up, taking into production, and using for this at all? That's what I want to know. So here's Rock about ready to go to give that line.
And that's what you can be. Last year for WrestleMania, you know this. My goal was to face my cousin Roman Reigns for the WWE title. You know it, and you know it. And when I came back, I talked to Triple H, who's my friend. I talked to Nick Khan, who's my friend. Both of them are your friends. I said, I know it's not in the plan. I know it's supposed to be Cody. Talk to Cody. We're going to have to move him aside because this is best for business. The biggest match ever, The Rock and Roman Reigns. You got to make it happen. And what did you do?
So he gets a little off script. He's fumbling his words. How do you fuck up Roman Reigns, man? Come on. It's family. And then the way he presented this here, okay, this part's good. Listen, you need to pay attention to me, Cody, because I did you a favor last year. Last year, the world wanted The Rock versus Roman Reigns. That was the match for WrestleMania. I had the time to be here. I was here last year, and then you got in the way, and you had to go ahead and win the belt. But everybody wanted The Rock and Roman Reigns. They wanted to see the bloodline in the ring together for the WWE title. That's what everybody wanted. And then you put your nose into our business, into family business. Like, I would have wanted him to kind of get off to that. But hey, that's it's under the water, right? Under the bridge. But I let that go. And again, why is he saying about Nick Khan? We don't need to hear about Nick Khan. Quit with the marks. You want to see Triple H? Hey, I went directly to Triple H himself. And I said, listen, you need to take Cody out of this championship match. You need to put me in the WrestleMania main event for the WWE title. That's what it's supposed to be. Cody doesn't need to be in this match. He can wait his turn. Just because he won the Royal Rumble again doesn't mean he gets to go and have this shot. He had his shot, and you lost it. You didn't deserve to go ahead and get another title shot already. You won a title shot, but that doesn't mean you need to have that title shot at WrestleMania, because I'm The Rock. And I have all the stroke here. I'm the final boss. So if the final boss wants to take your spot at WrestleMania last year, I could have done it, but I didn't. So now you owe me. So I did you a great favor. Now you need to be my champion because I let you be the champion. That's compelling to me. And that would have turned the crowd on everybody. Because, like, the crowd is turning on The Rock only because he's been heel and all the stuff. But like, this is the part where, like, if you would have started laying in again, grandiose, grandstanding, starting to throw ego out there, swinging the dick, and then he throws this shit right here, being condescending, being an asshole and a dick to Cody Rhodes right there. And after Cody getting a little bit teary-eyed, and now you got from emotion, sentimental, to anger. But then there's the dose of truth, which is as a heel, fine, perfect. You get that dose of truth, and Cody is reasoned by The Rock that, yeah, you know, I was looking at my story, but I didn't even think about the family. I didn't think of Roman Reigns. I was being selfish. You make it sound, you manipulate Cody's mind to make him feel like he was in the wrong. Like he should feel guilty for having this belt. But The Rock coronated him. He allowed Cody to be in that match to win the title, which he did. But he didn't deserve to be in that match, not then and there, last year. That'd be a great storyline. And we don't know where this is going to. This is just an angle to start, which we know. We'll figure it out down the line. I'm not going to worry about, like, give me the whole story and make it predictable. No, we can be vague right here and we can kind of go, you know, whatever is going to be the angle after this. Listen, they start off so well and they can always fizzle in the middle, and then sometimes we get a good ending, right? Or we get a good ending after all. That's how WWE is, right? But with Vince, this is what it always was, the modus operandi. We expected it. But this right here, everything's kind of missing about this. You could have really gone a couple different emotional steps, up, down, emotional roller coaster all over the place. And then go the dose of truth right here and really frustrate Cody. Like, he wouldn't be pissed off at him. He would just be frustrated because it doesn't matter. Cody's still champion. But The Rock could really lay it on to Cody for everything to happen and vent. So let's get to the part where he says about taking your soul. Here we go.
I ain't doing it. And you stood up to me. And you know what else you did in front of the world? You slapped me. And no one does that and gets away with it. But that's why you are special. And that's why you should be my champion. And that's why I will take you from here to here. I will make sure every dream you have comes true. Every desire comes true. You and generations behind you. Your dad, my dad, right now looking down. The American Dream and the Soul Man. They were friends. You and I are friends. Cody, be my champion. And here's the thing. I don't want you to answer me tonight. I want you to think about it. I want you to go home and talk to your wife. I want you to hold that baby of yours. I'm going to go home. I'm going to talk to my wife.
Now, so it's set up for Toronto. This is a big storyline they're going to go ahead and start setting up. We're going to get the next arc of this at Elimination Chamber with the answer, the response from Cody, which now really overshadows whatever the Elimination Chamber match is and whoever wins. It's almost like it doesn't even matter. Right? And that's the part I don't understand, but that's what they decided to go and do. And I'm like, I'm not really happy about that, but that's what they chose. Fine. Okay, here we go.
Before I leave, I want you to know this. The one thing that I want more than anything in this world is that.
Point to the title.
This championship, my championship, their championship, this is what all of this is about. You want?
No. No. My brother, I don't want that. I want your soul.
Doesn't make any sense. And then he puts his hand up on Cody's face.
On March 1st at Elimination Chamber.
So he gives that kind of brotherly kind of like, a little bit of a embrace. But he says, I want your soul. So what? Rock turns into the devil. So there's a lot of different directions you can go with what they did here. All right. We've gone through the whole gamut here of what this whole was. And then this is what I wanted to go and get into and just figure out and just try to make sense of it. Now, when I went on X afterwards, a lot of comments being said about, let's go and get into some of those that they already had right now that people want to go ahead and get a figure out. Because that's the thing we have to go and like just point to everybody out. All right. There's one person that says this is about to get good. It looked like Rock was about to completely snap on Cody Rhodes until he forgot he was trying to manipulate him. It's clear as day Rock wants revenge on Cody for ruining his match against Roman. The way Rock was talking, Rock versus Roman, is definitely the end game of this whole thing. He gets revenge on Cody, faces his cousin after it's all said and done. Well, that's one way to look at it. I don't think that's what we're going to get. All right. Kevin Castle, who I'm a big fan of, I've listened to him and Don Tony for years. He says, and this is after one other person responds about it. One other response I'll take from here is Rock wants Cody to be a corporate sellout and abandon the people because he's the real people's champion and it's jealous of Cody. Does anyone know what that promo meant otherwise? And then Kevin Castle says and responds, what I got from it was WWE has no real plan. And this was just what they came up with. Rock is collecting souls now like Taker, LOL, ugh, this is AEW like garbage. Well, and so I didn't really get much of that myself. So that was one part I was trying to figure out. Then another person writes, I've landed on Dwayne Johnson being a genius. This is from Ibu was a wrestle purist and was originally from Fightful. And this is what he takes as his take. And I want to read this through just because, like I said, I'm just getting random thoughts of what people were decoding out of this whole segment. So his argument is Cody's quietly having an existential crisis over his current sense of self. He was everyone's friend on the rising tide in 2023, led a squadron of babyfaces against heel stables, wins the title after massive help and embraces being the face of the TKO Corporation. His friendship with Kevin Rhodes, the wars with the bloodlines clearly wear on him. There's a sense that he is insecure with where he stands in relation to Roman Reigns and wants to fight him again. It's the reason he helped him last year. It's an ego and pride thing. It came at the expense of his credibility and perception. He's reveled this year at a vulnerable time. Rock dangles the prospect of being a made man, so to speak, backed by billionaires, and he's unsure of what to make of it. Cody, an ace figure that is plateauing, has the opportunity to develop further as a character which will extend his time as a centerpiece of the universe. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling too much of that anyways, but all right. And then for me, I was trying to figure out what they were going with this because my comment on this was this. I said to myself, did The Rock watch The Devil's Advocate on streaming to come up with this angle? This needs help. Let's see what TKO and the final boss offer Cody. Bringing Brandy into the story to convince Cody to accept the offer. This needs more build-up before Toronto. Right. So if you brought Brandy out there and you said, hey, she came out here because she, supports my decision. And then it's like, all right, if Cody says no, The Rock will counter offer. And what will that counter offer? Because that's one of the things that the crowd would want. But if you really want to go get something to kind of really move on and go forward, yeah, let's build up the fact that, all right, maybe there's something more that The Rock needs to do, because if he's going to be a manipulator, then he's going to say, oh, I expected you to say that. I expected that. So I have a counter offer for you. I have a better option for you. Because no matter what, Cody, I want you to be up here, putting his hand up, and I want your soul. So he's like, he's going to probably not say that again, but he'll continue to go on with that kind of route. And then he'll have to throw something, a big carrot out there for Cody to go and take, whatever the bait is. Now, do I think that anybody, if anything, in the involvement of the Survivor Series storyline has to play into this? I don't think so. That's one thing that everybody could kind of talk about. All right, because Cody helped Roman Reigns out at Survivor Series. does that storyline still play here? Because if it does, then Roman Reigns should be a face confronting The Rock and getting The Rock out of the business of the fact that, oh, well, Rock, what are you doing here? What are you doing with Cody? And he can stand up for him and then maybe do a screw job, right? I can see that. I mean, if we're going to do something with Roman Reigns, then let's get him into the storyline and make it where he's having animosity with The Rock and the whole bloodline thing. And then you can play up that. But then you make it where Roman Reigns turns on Cody. And once again, the bloodline is once again where it is. And then Roman gets the belt back from Cody Rhodes. And then somewhere we get Rock and Roman Reigns. I don't know. We get something. Or, I mean, what are we going to do? I don't think Rock's going to wrestle. But I think The Rock creating this whole scenario to goad Cody into a situation that he can be manipulated and thrown into this whole whirlwind, this whole tailspin, because Cody's wavering, and you can explain how he's been wavering. You know, some of those ideas are like, oh, take back what happened to him with the Bloodline War, or take back to what happened with him with Survivor Series and all the people that were incorporated with that, from Kevin to, you know, CM Punk and whatever else, right? And then you could also bring up the favor. We also have to figure out, is the favor for CM Punk going to be cashed in at WrestleMania for some way or reason, whatever it is, too? That's the other part. We don't know anything of this yet. But I need more from it. We all need a lot more from it. Anyways. So that's what I saw from there that I thought was important, that I thought we can kind of bring across, that was interesting. But for me right now, I'm like still on the fence of where we're going to go with it. Like, I need something more. I don't know. We'll figure it all out. So there's a couple of things, a little extra tidbits before we go and get into the ongoings with Elimination Chamber. Of course, it's coming up this weekend. I will do a post show for this right here at kingofpodcasts.com. You can go and find it right here. And TKO, there's going to be a week-long event at T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri, where there will be 3 events that TKO holds, which is the Professional Bull Riders Tour. They'll have an event on Thursday, April 24th. UFC will have a Fight Night card on Saturday the 26th, and there'll be a Monday Night Raw on April the 28th. So all this stuff going on. Obviously, a lot of cross-promotion across all these events they're going to do for this. That's going to be coming up in April. Another thing that's going to probably piss people off is the fact that there was an investor's call for TKO Group Holdings, and the investors conference call made a point and said, well, this is according to Chief Financial Officer Andrew Schleimer, they're expecting 3 premium live events in 2026 to be held in Saudi Arabia. One of them will be the Royal Rumble, and there'll be one for Saudi Arabia in 2025. So Saudi Arabia is going to get 3 of the pay-per-views now. Wow. 3 of them. Very interesting. So for those of you that were all happy and stuff about, oh, the card and this and that, like, look, we're getting all these great events. Look at this. Continuing to go overseas for pay-per-views. But now we're going to get Saudi Arabia to get more shows. If people were kind of upset with Saudi Arabia in the first place, well, forget about that, man. The Saudi princes, they are spending money on all TKO Group Holding stuff. I don't think they're going to get the rodeo out there, but UFC and WWE, yeah, they're doing stuff out there, man. The money's out there. Live, right? Golf, all this other stuff. Yeah, they don't care. A lot of talk about the fact that Ricky Saints had his debut on NXT. The show drew just a tick below 800,000 viewers. But on the show, you had the Hardys and Moose in action. NXT stars there. You again, Ricky Saints on as well. And there we go. That's it. It's like, all right, fine. There's also from Max All Elite Wrestling that Bleacher Report sports content will be available at an additional cost starting March 30th. But now it's being changed. Max customers will now on all tiers will be able to access AEW and all sports programming at no additional cost. Now, that's not counting the premium live events, which eventually will be put up on at a special rate whenever they decide to go and do that. All right, so again, lead things off. Elimination Chamber coming up this weekend. And, for everything that's all said and done here, it's on Saturday, Toronto, 8 o'clock start. And what we have for that so far is the following. So we know Elimination Chamber matches were all set. We have Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair versus Alexa Bliss versus Bayley versus Naomi versus Roxanne Perez. And they'll all be vying to go after the Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley, and whoever that's going to be. And if I had to go and pick in this list right here, I'm going to guess Liv Morgan wins again. I don't see where they're going to go into a new route with anybody else in this card, especially for WrestleMania. Yeah, I'm guessing Rhea Ripley's in this. Rhea Ripley will probably take on Liv Morgan. That's my guess of all the names that are here. Maybe they make it a triple threat. Something else happens. I think that might happen as well, but I don't know. That's what it looks like it's going to be. The men's Elimination Chamber match, you got CM Punk, John Cena, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, Damian Priest or Seth Rollins, and the winner of that match will be taking on Cody Rhodes for the WWE title at WrestleMania. And you can go into a couple different routes with it, obviously. I think CM Punk and Logan Paul are starting to be a little bit at each other's throats. We saw that. And, of course, they were doing that all across the board with all these different stars. And they made the point that John Cena, in a press conference after Royal Rumble, that even though he lost, he says he's going to go after the title. He's going to go after the 17th title. And I can see him taking John Cena to go up against Cody. And people will not like it. But I'm going to guess John Cena wins the Elimination Chamber. And he will take on Cody. And that's where The Rock comes in. And they're going to have a big old storyline with that. On the retirement, which will make it even bigger. A more epic match. That makes it WrestleMania caliber. And I can see that happening. Trish Stratus, Tiffany Stratton against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I expect Trish and Tiffany to win. Unsanctioned match, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I will take Kevin Owens to win. And I think Cody will say no, but then we'll have some kind of turnaround with that as well. And then coming up, we have AEW Revolution next week. And the card so far has Jon Moxley versus Cope, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, Takeshita versus Omega, MJF and Adam Page, Mercedes Moné, Momo Watanabe for the TBS title. There's a lot of good storylines going off of that. Pretty happy about that. I think they've done a better job of building up and signaling some better matches to the card. I know we still got Ricochet and Swerve Strickland might get put into this card and a few other things, but we'll wait and see what they're going to do about that. But yeah, it looks pretty good. And that's the show for tonight. I will be coming back this Saturday to do a post show after Elimination Chamber, so I hope you'll go ahead and join me for that and be a part of it. Of course, here at KingofPodcasts.com, and of course, make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. I'm almost there. On the YouTube at King of Podcasts, please subscribe there. Also, comment on the show if you're listening in, so you can catch all that. And also, you can hear watch the episodes with captions. You can keep up however you want. That'll be awesome. Come back this Saturday, enjoy Elimination Chamber, and come back for another Wrestling Real podcast because wrestling needs us.